Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a new show. Today I'm with Gemma Price. Gemma is in digital media. We're going to find out all about that today. And the thing is, she's having to keep herself isolated. She'll tell you the reasons. Vulnerable family. Got to be careful of them, I'm telling you. But nevertheless, we're going to do that. So I'll tell you what, let's skip over and we'll do that now. Gemma, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good. I'm still here and everything's going well. Not feeling too bad, so.
Yeah, this is a first for us, having to do like a broadcast over the old Facebook and the QuickTime and everything else. So it's, how are you feeling in yourself? You know, you say good. What does that mean?
Yeah, good. Well, I'm not poorly, so that's a really good starting point at the moment.
That is good.
Yeah, and I mean, I work from home anyway, so it's nearly life as normal. But I'm just having to be extra cautious. I've got some vulnerable family members with high risk conditions, so sort of limiting seeing anybody really, apart from my husband and my daughter who are in the house with me.
Oh right, so you still want to see your husband and your daughter?
I don't have much choice. Yes, I do.
Yeah, damn. Never mind. Right, okay. Well, look, what we like to do on the show, is we like to get a little bit of background to you, or to everybody, I should say. So, what's your background story? How have you ended up where you are? So, take us back a bit.
Okay, so I'd always been interested in digital and media production and all that sort of thing. Since I was little, I used to record home videos on our old camcorder years ago, and then, so I went to university and studied it. And everybody said, "Oh, is it a bit of a Mickey Mouse degree, media production?" But absolutely not for me. It was the right degree at the right time. I did that, but was also always interested in education. And actually, out of university, I went on to be an education librarian, completely random. I needed a job and quick. And then realised before long that a lot of what I was doing was actually marketing, in the bits that I loved doing. So, so I set out for a career in education marketing, which is a bit of a niche. I've done a number of years in that, worked at a group of further education colleges, and then went on to work as Director of Marketing and Admissions in an independent school. Loved all of it, but really loved helping people to use digital better. And education typically is a little bit behind the curve when it comes to digital marketing. So then I set up my own business in November, and now I'm helping education and non-profit organisations, as well as smaller local businesses, with their digital marketing and just digital processes, because it touches everything you do in business. Sure.
Hey, that sounds good. Now, we're going to get to the nitty-gritty now. What university did you go to?
University of Lincoln.
Yes, I was there. And believe it or not, I was one of the first students through media production back in '97.
Ah, there we go. See, I was class of 2012, so a couple of years later. But it was known for being fantastic for the course.
Oh, hey, they did really, really well. I mean, when we started off in the early days, we just had the one facility, but the buzz was absolutely amazing. There was 600 odd students. I can remember going into one of the auditorium there, and we were sat, and it was a sea of people, and they went, "Oh, we haven't got enough seats," so everyone was standing. It was amazing. It was a crazy time. How did you get on at uni? Good time?
Yeah, loved it. Absolutely loved it. I'd say I worked hard, as you are sort of meant to, but I did a lot of work experience alongside my degree.
Oh, right.
So everybody was saying you won't get a job in anything to do with media if you don't get some experience. And at the time, I was really passionate, particularly about radio. And I wanted to get more experience, so I did some placements with BBC Lincolnshire and Links FM. Did a little bit of presenting. I was then a self-employed voiceover artist as well for a while, just to get experience, really. I don't do that so much. I don't do anything like that really now, but it was all good experience.
But do you miss that side of it?
Not so much, because Not really, because I now a big part of digital marketing is video production and editing, and obviously there's audio with that as well. So I still get to play around with audio, which was the techie bit of it I liked.
Yeah, I mean, I had my own radio show as well, Siren FM. Good morning and welcome. Yeah, welcome from Dr. Watt. That's what I was known as, Dr. Watt. Yeah. Oh, I had some crazy times. I really did. I had. I can remember at one point we had a show going out. I used to do the early morning slots, so I had a sponsor, and the sponsor was the CAF across the way in the Hog's Head, and they used to bring me breakfast every morning. So when it came in, I'd say, "Oh, thanks ever so much to the Hog's Head, who's given me a beautiful layout," and I'd describe this plate of food and everything else, and then you'd hear me eating it. It was wonderful, really. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Lincoln for me was it was a bit of a no-brainer. All right, I was living in Newark, but they had, like you said, they had some fantastic facilities. They still do. I mean, they're growing out of all shape now, aren't they? I mean, have you seen the new buildings that are going up?
Yeah, I was in one. I helped with an open day a couple of weeks ago. I did a talk at the postgraduate open event, and it was just so impressive. Like that bit had been sort of where the buildings have popped up was just space you didn't even realise was there. And now
right, yeah,
massive buildings, and I think they've been named something like 17th top university in the UK now, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, like, when you consider who they're up against. That's a big old list.
New to the game, really.
Yeah. They're doing really, really well. So, whilst you were at uni, then, because you mentioned about this love of education and digital, so what type of little films did you used to make?
So it was all sorts of things, really. So I specialised in initially in television and radio, but I also studied photography, digital animation, script writing. Me. Yeah, a bit of all of it to begin with. And then, just all sorts, really. A lot of the voiceover work I was doing by the time I was in third year was often like corporate training videos, so nothing exciting. It was often like health and safety videos for industrial plants. And,
Can you remember any of the script from one of them?
No. Oh gosh, we're going back too far.
What? You should remember that. They should be instilled in the brain. And if you look at the ladder, you'll find it's a 4-in-1.
Yeah, I do remember how it felt though when I first. So I'd done a lot of free work experience, and when I first got paid for doing some of the work that I loved. I remember that feeling. That's the bit that sticks out for me. Was oh wow! I actually got paid for doing something I enjoyed. So,
so what type of companies? You mentioned corporates. Like who? Who was you doing it for?
I can't remember their names. There was a place somewhere in Yorkshire. They were an industrial plant. I did some sort of video about, when people arrive at your premises, take this gate and enter, and you will go into a safety briefing and all of this.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and then a few. I was also helping out a friend who worked for 20th Century Fox at the time.
Oh, nice.
So I was doing some things. I ran a website and did some promotional bits for some of their upcoming films. So they were often like, I did a competition for Mr. Popper's Penguins when that came out with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
It was just giving away merchandise and things to get people engaged in the brand. So a bit of that as well.
Yeah, why not? Well, what about this education then? Where's that all stem from? Why education?
I don't really know. My dad is a college lecturer, so I think I was maybe interested from that. I've always been a bit of a bookworm. Ever since, as long as I can remember, I love books, so there was an element of that. And I think I realised that. So I wanted to work in marketing or digital something. I didn't know it was marketing at the time, but I wanted to do it in something that could really make a difference to people's lives. So for me, seeing what education provided for young people and people going through university, I think there was a bit of a spark when I realised that I could do that, and so that has since then, I suppose, guided most of my career. Has been, if I'm doing something, I want it to be something where I can make an impact beyond just I don't know. People think of marketing and sales as very corporate-y and
right.
I don't know. People don't like being sold to. So if I'm going to help people to grow, I want it to be an organisation that really makes a really positive impact.
Yeah, would you say then, because you made a point there, yeah? They don't like to be sold to. Would you say it really does boil down to you're buying from the person you like?
Yeah, a large part of it. So everything I do, I use the inbound methodology, which basically means providing maximum value at every touch point in a customer journey. So it's not just, these days, it's not just, okay, I want to go to a college, which one's near me? Yes, I'll go to it, or university. A lot of it now is the first touch point might have been they've seen something you posted on social media 5 years ago, and then they have maybe looked at your website years ago, and then there's a lot more touch points than previously. You don't just visit an open day and that's that anymore.
Right.
So a large part of my ethos is about providing value. So it's about answering the questions that people have, so that you are established as a thought leader before anybody looks anywhere else.
Right. And that's important
that,
nowadays,
in education.
That's really important.
Yeah, and in education, that goes back a long way. It could be, if people are looking at schools for their children, they're doing it, they're thinking about it from when their child's born. So you've got a good few years before, to make that impact.
Yeah. Crazy. Have you already started to look for your child?
I have. So my little one's 1 year old, we've recently moved out to a village, so she'll be going to the village primary, I think.
Oh, right. Where are you living now then?
Sturton by Stowe.
Oh, that's nice there. Yeah.
We love it.
Why did you choose that?
Clever decision. We've moved into the house next door to my in-laws, which is a very good thing because we now have childcare.
Yeah, hey, that's clever. Yeah, and why not?
Yeah. And it's a lovely village, obviously.
Yeah, sure. So how long have you been in business?
Not long. I've been working in employed roles in digital marketing for many years now. But I started my business in November, and it was a real leap for me. It was there was an element of, if I'm doing it, now's the time. I think if I'd left it much longer, I probably would have found too many excuses. Also, my little one is so young. I don't want to just be out of the house all the time.
Right.
So actually now I manage my diary. So I do a lot. All my work is most of my work is remote. I do a lot of it from home. So I manage my diary to allow me to do some stuff in the evening once she's in bed. I did find when I was employed that, I'd be getting home and I wouldn't see her. And it was actually really hard to do, really hard. So that was a big part of it. Also, I realised that, so I've specialised in a program called HubSpot, which is a CRM platform. And I realised I was pretty much one of the only, if not the only, HubSpot for education specialist in the UK and beyond. So there was a clear gap in the market for my skills, so I was like, right, I've got to do it, and sort of I'm a bit of an all or nothing person, I suppose. So that's what I'm doing. No.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, because there are other HubSpots around the world, aren't there?
Yeah. So HubSpot in itself is something that I really respect. It's to help streamline all your marketing and sales, and for schools that's admissions as well.
Yeah.
There are other versions of it as well, but HubSpot has grown massively. They've got offices around the world, but I don't work for them. I work. Right. It's my business, and I just help people who do decide to implement it.
Okay.
But also, if it's not the right tool, then I will say that's not the tool for you, and I can help with other digital marketing as well.
So do you go outside of your remit of education? Do you help small businesses?
Yes, yeah. So what I did initially, because I needed some business lined up in order to launch. And all of my interests, because my recent employment roles have been education, that was my obvious starting point. So that is one area. I'm also doing a lot with non-profit organisations. I actually am a media and marketing manager for Lincolnshire Scouts. In my spare time.
Oh, so, really? Yes, there we are.
So I do. I've been doing non-profit stuff for a while. Also, their big Poacher International Jamboree, which is in Lincolnshire Showground every 4 years. I'm on the senior leadership team for that, doing all the marketing for that as well. Cool. So, and I'm passionate about helping non-profits. And then off the back of that, I've had lots of small businesses locally saying, actually, could you just give us a bit of advice? And I'm not going in and saying, right, let's implement this and let's do. I'm not going into the big stuff. Budgets are different, but I'm ultimately the skills that I have across all businesses. So at the minute, there's a lot of advice I do and consultancy and things.
Good. Well, I'm going to put my neck on the line here. There is a new organisation that's setting up, very small, led by bank managers, accountants, and solicitors, and you name it. They're all coming together. It's going to be starting in the next couple of months, I believe. I think they'd like to talk to you because of what you are doing. They are all geared up to help the new starters in business, right up to that been trading for a couple of years. So what I'll do is I'll actually send them your info and see if you guys can all meet up. That'd be good. Be good synergy.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Really good.
Although we might not be able to meet, it might be a video call. Who knows?
Hey, who cares? Who cares? At least we're all in contact. Yeah. How is this actually affecting you at all? I mean, you're saying you're working from home and everything, but to be banged up every day a lot of people won't be able to take it.
So it's actually business-wise, and it's clearly a very serious situation, and I have a lot of anxieties about things to do with it, but actually for business it's been very good, because everything that I do is remote. The systems that I help people implement, or the digital marketing processes that I help with, are all remote. They're all done online. So actually there's been a real peak. Perfect. I've had, my phone's been ringing a lot, which is great, because a lot of businesses are going to find these times a lot harder. Yeah. So actually, it's meant that I've secured enough stuff to see me through, hopefully, as long as this lasts. But I'm in a situation now where I'm able to just give businesses some advice, free advice. I'm not expecting any contracts off it. Where if people just want 15 minutes chat with me about a specific question they have, or we've never worked remote before, what on earth do we do? Then I can help explain some of the different tools available, free tools online.
Well, let me stop you there. Let's get into it.
Yeah? Imagine.
Yeah.
All right, imagine I'm coming to you and I'm saying, I want to work digital. What advice are you going to give me?
Okay, so it very much depends on what you want to do digital. But say you're a small business and you are suddenly having to work remote, and your team are having to go remote, and you're worried about the impact of this situation on your sales of whatever you're selling.
Well, I'm actually selling cucumbers.
Right. Okay. So the first thing I'll say is that you are, since you're selling a foodstuff, you're probably classed as a key worker. So you probably do need to continue working on your supply chain and all the other sides of your business that you must be familiar with and have sorted already. But when it comes to marketing, I would say, what are you doing to provide value other than supplying cucumbers? What are you doing at the minute to provide value to your customers in these uncertain times? So, could you, if you run a social media channel, you have a Facebook page.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Could you be posting some advice on making recipes when your cupboards, you're not sure what foodstuffs you've got in?
See, that's a good one there, because that means that we've now got to think about what we can cook with a cucumber.
Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible. There will be things. I'm not the expert in cucumber recipes, so I wouldn't like to advise. But yeah, I would say, it's a time for every business to look at what can you do to help people in these difficult times. So, I've seen exercise coaches online doing all their exercise videos remotely. absolutely brilliant. You don't want people, although business needs profit, at the minute we're all in this together. And, if you can provide some value online, I've seen people post it actually very similar to this, for people struggling who are on, on diets and trying to lose weight, and suddenly we're all confined to our houses.
Right.
People sharing recipes online of cupboard essentials that if you've got a bag of couscous hiding somewhere in the back of your cupboard, what you can do to spruce that up. And
you're
people
right.
might welcome into that.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I think you're going to be great for this little group I'm going to put you in touch with, I'll tell you. It's good. But you're right. I mean, you go on, sorry.
Some of it as well is, obviously that's the marketing side.
Yeah.
And also, I would suppose, try and think of what people are asking at the minute. So and this is my advice to whatever organisations I work with, what questions are your customers asking right now that you can just give them the answers to, so that they trust you and they know that you actually have their best interests at heart. And that's regardless of a global pandemic, like all the time. Yeah. And then the other side of what I offer is the advice on, okay, we're working remotely. How do we do that? So I can help, advise on some tools. There's a number, so things like Zoom that do Zoom calls. There are there's a free version of that. Very much like we're doing now, a video call.
Sure.
And get how to best use that and best engage your team. Whether that's some training for your team remotely. I'm currently working with a number of colleges across the UK and actually in Switzerland as well, where they're badly hit. And I'm just doing video calls every day, training them, talking to them, reassuring them.
Right.
But other businesses can be doing that with their customers. So
yeah, without doubt. I personally think you're right. In this time that we're in now, it's not about profit. It is about consolidation, collaboration. Bringing it in and helping each other. So you're spot on there with that. Yeah. I mean, for me, I think I've got a delivery. I can hear the doorbell going.
Oh.
I've no idea. Oh, it's a man in a mask. I've no idea. I've just lost my train of thought there because that fella's come to deliver. I was like, what's he delivering? Yeah. I wonder how those guys are getting on. I mean, I know they live in their van, and they are 2 meters away from everybody and then the fresh air and everything else. But they're still touching stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, and it is a big concern. My husband runs an online business. I'd say as a hobby, really, alongside his work.
What does he do? What's he selling?
He sells penguin gifts.
Feet?
Not gifts for penguins. Gifts featuring penguins. So it's called Little Penguin, and penguin umbrellas, penguin stress balls, penguin crockery, penguin baby grows, you name it. He's probably got it.
Okay, so one minute. I need to I've got to interject. All right. You've married a man that likes penguins.
And I wonder why every day.
Bless him. Hey, what a cracking idea, though. That's got to be, it's very niche, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Did you help
very
him?
Niche. It works.
Have you helped him with his marketing?
No, well, he's actually a marketing professional as well, so I wouldn't want to.
Oh.
But that's how we met. We worked together in marketing.
Right.
So so he doesn't need any help with that, but occasionally I'll help. We've turned the garage into a storeroom basically, and it's all racked with loads of penguin stuff.
Oh, fantastic!
And then he sells it all online, and he sells it around the world. There's a real demand for penguin umbrellas across the world. Who knew?
Oh, hey, I know what I've got. He might be interested. I've got some ice. I mean, I could actually supply him with ice. I don't know how long it'd last, but because they like the coldness, don't they?
They do. I mean, what's really interesting is tracking the trends in the sort of products at the minute.
Yeah, I bet.
There has been an influx in people ordering penguin stress balls. I'm not surprised.
Oh, really?
We're all stressed, but if you're going to have one, have a penguin one.
Well, why not? And I know where to come and get one from now.
There you go.
Deary me. Has he ever thought of branching out from that? Different animals or what?
I did suggest so, because it's Little Penguin. I was trying to think of other ones for him. I said, what about Little Donkey? The domain name was already taken. But yeah, he only cares about penguins, so
Bless him.
there's no market for him.
Bless him.
Now you mentioned something that you worked together. Where was it that you were working and you?
It was at Lincoln College Group. So we were both in the marketing department. I was doing the content. I was producing the content that people needed, and also helping with events. And then he was purely digital marketing and web development. So he managed all the group websites,
Cool.
as well as all the paid digital campaigns.
Oh, so you actually had paid digital. So companies can do that.
Actually, most businesses I work with now are doing a lot of paid digital. So it's usually social media marketing.
Right.
That's something I help quite a lot with, and I do myself as well. And at the minute, I've actually paused a lot of my Facebook ads because I don't want to feel like I'm selling to people at this time.
Right.
But what I have done is I've started promoting my ebook that I've written that's on my website. And actually, it's a good time for people who are isolating to be upskilling and professional development. So, there's things like that.
Yeah.
Here's one for you. Yesterday, Scott and I, that's my business partner, we were over at a company that do online courses. They're called Global Grad. So you can travel around the world, anywhere in the world, and still do your education and everything else. They link it all in. It's amazing.
Brilliant.
But it's like they did mention that there was some site that were free online courses. Free.
Yeah.
I was like, why wouldn't you take them up? You know.
In fact, it's funny you should say this. Yesterday, I think I published a blog post on my website entirely full of a list of online free courses that I recommend for people who want to grow their marketing and digital skills during this time.
Oh no, that is so. Okay, what's the link? Where do they need to go?
So my website is hubgem.co.uk. That's HUBGEM .co.uk. And then on there is my blog, and you can subscribe to it. There's loads of digital marketing advice on there. Some of it's tailored to education, some for non-profits, and then some is more general. So read the bits that interest you.
Fantastic. You see, it's things like that, isn't it? That actually help the world go round at the moment.
Yeah, and I think it's everyone coming together, and I think everybody's realising that is the only way we're going to get through this, is if we work together. Yesterday I was on a video call. It was planned by HubSpot, but with people from all around the world. There were 53 people all doing a video call, a video chat, and we were talking about how the virus is affecting our businesses, what we can do to help people. It was very much like this, actually. And you could see there were people in New York City. You could see the New York City skyline behind one of the people. There were people, down in Texas and the southern states of America.
Right.
There was people in Asia. Obviously, the time difference, it starts to impact. But and there were people in the UK, across Europe. And I just think there was no talk of, there was talk about difficulties we're facing, but it wasn't a talk about who's going to come out on top. It was very much, what can we provide at the minute for the people who need it, which is lovely. I think maybe humanity probably needed this bit of a kick.
I've got to be honest with you, what were the fires that went off in Australia? Now, I was over there just before that happened. And I actually said to my wife as we travelled down on that west coast, it was like, do you know, Australia's looking tired. And then, we come back and then all of a sudden, whoosh, I'm hoping I'm not the cause of that, because I don't want that lawsuit on me. It's not a good one to have. But it was. So for me, it's almost like the phoenix. The world or the earth. Somebody's telling us something, and it's all...
Yeah, I mean, what a year. We're only in March.
I know. Yeah, you wait. Yeah. I'm just hoping that people don't go crazy, and do all the bulk buy-in and everything else. I don't know if you saw the post this morning of the national health worker, the nurse or whatever.
It broke my heart.
Well,
it really upset me, yeah.
Yeah, and she got a very good point. There's
Yeah,
some very
it makes me
selfish
so
people.
sad. And, we're there. I'm there thinking, my daughter drinks a lot of milk. That's what 1-year-olds do. And she's, I'm there. I went to the local yesterday, and they're really struggling to keep up with demand of milk. And what, is everyone suddenly drinking that much more tea? Let's just rein it in a bit, because with the same number of people. If the shops just restock as normal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that they are starting to restrict the number of items.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got twins in our family, and I went down and I needed some nappies for them, and then I put 5 packs, and you're only allowed 4. And it wasn't until I got to the checkout they said you could only have 4. I thought, well, okay, let me test this out. Let's see what they do. And actually, it came through, and she went, "Oh, I'm sorry, you got 5. I'm going to have to take one of them." I went, "Hey," I said, "that's great. Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Get it back in the system." So, you know, if we can all play the game.
You know, everybody's going to
You know what, I did... I am somewhat of a chocoholic, and I did stock up on chocolate just a little bit more than usual. Problem is, I've eaten it all.
What?
I've eaten it all because it was in the house. So actually, bulk buying is not for me anyway, because I would just bulk consume. It's not good.
Yeah. Hey, well, there's a lesson for you all. I'm telling you. Yeah. Be there. Right. Okay. It's been lovely talking to you.
Yeah.
You've got
really
a great
nice
smile on you. Your personality shines through. I've got to say that. And do you know what?
I will keep in contact with you, because I believe that with your little philosophy, your business philosophy of helping people, same with myself and Scott. I mean, we like to do exactly the same. Maybe we need a bigger chat and some chocolate and a cup of tea.
That sounds great. I mean, there's probably none left in my shop now, but...
Well, I'll bring some over. But anyway, Gemma, thank you very much indeed for your time. Yeah, good luck. So just one last time.
If people want to get hold of you for any sort of business or advice or whatever, where can they go to?
Go to hubgem, hubgem.co.uk. If you want to contact me directly through that, even just for some free advice, use the contact page, get in touch, and hopefully I can help. And just everyone, stay safe and healthy.
Gemma, thank you very much indeed. You go and have a good day, yeah? And
you
stay safe. Take care. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. What a lovely lady. Gem Hub. Remember, you need anything? Yeah, advice. Free advice in this day and age. I mean, it's unheard of. You get yourself there. I am going to go and have a cup of tea and a chocolate bar with her. I will definitely do that. Guys, have a good one, and we'll see you on the next show. Take care. Bye-bye.